So anyway, I'm delighted to be joined on Zoom by Chris Clark from Texas, and Chris is a very, very knowledgeable person about the tangents, much deeper level than me, although I'm now hoping to learn from Chris. And I got very inspired when I noticed on the Facebook group called the Tangent fans, if you want to consider joining. I noticed that Chris had come up with a feature called Underrated Tangent Gems. I thought, what a great idea. So, can I ask you, Chris, what gave you the inspiration to do this in the first place?
Sure, thank you, and it's nice to be here. I'm glad to have met you, and glad that you were interested in this. I didn't start out doing this to get any notoriety. I just did it because I love the
I
tangent.
know, and it was me that what I
but
did. I actually contacted you yesterday out of the blue and said, "Do you know, I've had an idea. I'd love to do a little feature on the Progressive Rock Show about these underrated gems and do one a week." And
Yeah, this is going to be great, and I'm happy to take part. And so I'll explain to you what got this idea in my brain. As I have told you, I told you yesterday when I very first met you, I really and truly believe that the Tangent is one of the most talented, underrated progressive rock bands in modern progressive rock music. I just think they're absolutely phenomenal, and
yep,
they're often overlooked. And in that stead, I listen to them all the time. I just have them in on shuffle in my playlist all the time. And the other day, Uphill from Here, which is the third song on The Music That Died Alone, popped up. And I started listening to it and realized, gosh, I haven't heard this in a while. And it dawned on me that this album is four songs, two of which are epics,
yep,
the third of which is 8 minutes, and then Uphill is 7 minutes, which comes in, so it's the shortest of the group. And
yep.
I just realized that this album being so great, that is a great song too, but it never ever gets noticed because in Darkest Dreams, which is a song about Andy's son having night terrors, and then The Music That Died Alone and the Canterbury sequence, they are just amazing, and
Yep.
they take everyone's attention. And Uphill from Here just kind of got lost. And I as I sat and thought about it, I realized I can go to almost every single Tangent album and tell you of at least one, and in some cases more than one, really true gem of a song that no one talks about, that no
Right.
one really mentions. And I thought, you know what, that'll be a real fun thing. Let me do a thing on the Facebook page called Underrated Tangent Gems, where I can pick one from each of the albums and discuss what it is that I think makes it a gem and why I think it's underrated. And
Yeah.
I need to say something here. It's been on the Facebook page. People say, well, I love that song. It's not underrated. I'm not talking about whether people like it or not. What I'm
Sure.
talking about is how it is overlooked and
Yeah.
not talked about. I love it. And up until now, I didn't talk about it. It's not that the song is bad in any way, shape, or form. So people kind of get a little bit of a defensive. Oh, I love that song. It's not underrated at all. Well,
I
no, in your
saw. Yeah.
mind, it's not underrated, right?
Yeah.
But it's never. I could say, point to me on this Tangent page where we have ever talked about Uphill from Here. It hasn't been done. That was the that
Absolutely.
was the that was the catalyst behind what I've decided to do,
It,
and I'm enjoying it. I'm doing one a day so far. I'm on the fourth. I did the fourth
I
album
just
today.
saw that before we connected, and
Yep.
what is also interesting, I think, is I mean, I've been doing my progressive rock show on Progzilla Radio for 7 years next month. That's a track I've yet to play, and I'm obviously going to put that right this week because I'm going to play it after we finish speaking. But I've never thought, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of tangent material, and there's a lot of other bands with loads of material, but that is one particular track that I've never played, and it's
And that is that,
exhilarating.
and that is exactly what I'm talking about. You
Yeah,
listened to it, and I'm sure you love it, and it's a
I
great
love it.
track.
I do.
And you had never played it before. It was just overlooked, and that's okay. The Tangent discography is vast.
Yeah,
He is the king of epic tracks, so
yeah.
those tend to take a lot of your attention when you're listening to the Tangent. And smaller songs that are a little shorter, they tend to kind of get glossed over, and they are just as worthy of attention. as the epics. So that was why I did this, and I'm glad that you honed in on that
I'm
on the
absolutely up for it.
spirit.
And looking forward to each day's revelations because it's it provokes interesting discussions. And we had Andy himself say something very interesting about this on the Facebook thread, didn't we? He said how the song was written in the very early 1980s by himself, with Quentin Churchill doing the original lyrics, most of which remained in the Tangents version. And the song originally belonged to the band A New Opera. Now, I have to confess, I don't know about A New Opera. Do you have?
I have to confess, I didn't know about a new opera
Oh,
either
right,
until
okay.
you told
All
me.
right. And he says, those of you who have the Going Off on One DVD will find it as a bonus item on the DVD menu called 1981. And the song was originally called Collapso. And this 1981 gig was recorded at the Haddon Hall pub in Leeds. And please note the CB radio meeting being advertised on the wall. And is
I
in
can I
CB
can tell
radio.
you and I'm sure you know him well enough to know he is a CB radio nut.
Absolutely, yes.
So that's why that's he wants you to note that, because that's
Sure.
something very near and dear to his heart is CB radio.
And he
So
finishes off his comment by saying, I was 22 years old, a third of my age now.
that's correct. I have to assume Collapso is some sort of shout out to national health. It has to be
Right.
from their album of Cues and Cures has the Collapso on it. So I don't know if that was intentional or a mistake or accident, but I know he's a huge national health fan. But that's interesting that that song is named something very similar to on the National Health album. But
Yeah.
I've never actually heard the version that A New Opera did. I would imagine it's quite similar to what we hear on the music that died alone, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right.
So
Well, we're going to continue this series in future shows, which I'm looking forward to. But I think right now we should play the track, really.
I agree.
Let's do that right away. This is The Tangent from their first album, 2003. Uh, that's right, isn't it? I didn't have notes of that.
Yes, it's
Sure.
2002. Yep.
2003. From The Music That Died Alone, this is the absolutely, in my opinion, exhilarating, and it really is such a uplifting track called Uphill From Here. So we'll speak next week. Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you, Graham.